Welcome back to Candy's Art World. I'm Candy and today I'm going to make another Christmas card. I wanted to have a black background to try to show off the gold ink. I don't think it really is ink. I think it's a paint or something because I had to thin it down a whole lot to use it on the pen on the calligraphy nib. So I'm using black watercolor on watercolor paper. Takes quite a few layers to get a solid black, or as solid as I could get it. But it's watercolor, it's supposed to be like that. I have found out that you really shouldn't use watercolor paper with calligraphy nibs. I think it wears down the nib quicker than it needs to be wore down. But at the time, all I have is the watercolor paper pretty much, so I will have to go get some calligraphy paper. I had a paper on the side to test it before I put it down on the card. Sometimes I forgot to do that, but as long as you start on a downstroke on a letter, you probably will be okay after a dip. I wanted to see if I could draw with the gold ink as well. I think it showed up okay on the black watercolored background. I still want to get some black paper though to try it out. I think the gold actually performs better on the nib than the ink they provided in the set. One of these days I will find me some dip pen ink somewhere so we could try a different consistency of ink. I'm untaping the front of the card so that way I can flip it over and write something on the inside. So I found I could put some ink in the lid of the bottle and get the nib to dip in there. But it was really splotchy. I don't know, maybe I need to add water to it. I'm not sure. Or I just probably need a lot more practice. The professionals that do this, spend years practicing their lettering. But I go ahead and leave the footage of all this so that way when you're starting to, you can see that most of us do not start out being perfect with calligraphy or dip pens. I do like the dip pen better than I did the nibs that had the pen that had the cartridges from the 5 and below, because that one seemed I had to dip it in water to get the ink to start flowing again every time, and you didn't have a whole lot of control over the thick and thin lines. As you can see, I don't have that much control over them yet with the dip pen either, but I am not going to give up. I will keep practicing. I really hope that everybody watching is having a great holiday season, enjoying their time with their family and friends. Oh, I learned this ink takes a whole lot longer to dry than the ink that was in I guess you call it a fountain pen that I got from the 5 and below. I found that right here. I tried to erase my guidelines, and I kind of smudged it all over. And I wanted to play with the gold some more, so I tried to add some gold to my lettering inside, hoping that the black ink would help it pop, but the letters still were not dry. So I figured I would just embellish it, mostly because I wanted to play with it still. It really is fun to play with. And then I folded I tried to press the ink on the paper to hopefully keep it from printing on the other side when I folded it, but it was still wet again. So I did end up kind of getting ink everywhere. But it was still fun to try. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Have a great day.